Sri Lanka is really felt as my home. So that was my natural life. Then I didn't know anything else than this way of living. Like living, I always knew I'm a foreigner in Sri Lanka, but we lived there. There were a few other German families, but we lived among locals, and so that was a lifestyle for me that was just the standard, the normal.
Right.
I only realized when I came back to Germany that it wasn't.
Hello everyone, I am Teratai, owner and intercultural trainer at Pro Compass Coaching and Training. Now here at the Crossroads, I will be having that heart-to-heart and one-to-one chats with internationals from all around the world and locals from the Netherlands. Now in today's episode, I will be flipping that script. I will be speaking with someone from Germany who has lived all over the world as a TCK. She is an architect as well as a mentor for professionals and internationals from around the world. Now, please welcome my guest for today, Maritta. Welcome to the show, Maritta.
Hi, Teratai. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy because I get to interview you today. And I'm really excited because I know I will have a good time interviewing you. How about you, Maritta? How is it going?
I'm good. Quite warm in Germany, but good. And I'm really happy to meet you here and to have this chat with you. It's nice to be with you.
Yeah. How hot is it there in Germany right now?
I think like 28 degrees, something.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's hot
but rain is expected.
Yeah, here in the Netherlands as well, we are expecting rain in the afternoon. Hopefully it will rain because it's been hot recently. Now, I'm interested in your story. Tell us and tell the viewers, who are you, where are you from, and I know that you've lived all over the world. So tell me a little bit more.
I don't think I've lived all over the world, but right now I'm in Germany. Like I was born in Germany, and but when in my first years of life, like the first 10 years, we lived abroad, first in Pakistan for 4 years, and then 5 years in Sri Lanka. And so I'm the daughter of an expat. My father is an agriculture engineer, and so he got a job there, and so we moved with the whole family. My sister, she's 2 years younger, and my brother actually was born in Sri Lanka. When I was 10, like we relocated to Germany, and we moved to a kind of small, traditional, conservative village in close to Munich, and that is when like the stay abroad ended abruptly,
right?
And so that was like a difficult time or like challenging time. In that time I was just in survival mode.
Yes.
So I went to school, and I went to high school. I went to first to law school, then I switched to architecture and became an architect and mediator and then coach. That is what is today.
Right.
And however, as an adult, I took every opportunity to go abroad. After school, I went to Canada, and then I worked in India, New Delhi, and my diploma I did in China. So that was my way to somehow I felt more at home abroad than in Germany. So that is so but then I came back to Germany again, and I met my husband. He's from Russia. So that was and I got my first son and my second son, and by that time I already had built my architecture business.
Right.
So and since 2022 I created this coaching business
Right.
for people and professionals with a cultural and multilingual background, and I just support them to have access to their full potential, to their full identities, while facing all these challenges abroad or like in a new country.
Yes, I think it makes sense to me as I hear you reading out your life story with most of your childhood being abroad, and now at this stage of your life, you're helping people to feel more comfortable in their new living environment. If let's say they move to a new country, let's rewind back to your childhood, where you said that you spent quite your formative years in Pakistan and Sri Lanka, right? How old were you then, and how long did you spend in each country?
Yeah, so we left when I was 1 year old. So Pakistan, I hardly remember. I was quite young. A few situations I can remember, but Sri Lanka is really felt as my home. So that was my natural life then. I didn't know anything else than this way of living. Like living, I always knew I'm a foreigner in Sri Lanka, but we lived there. There were a few other German families, but we lived among locals, and so that was a lifestyle for me that was just the standard, the normal.
Right.
I only realized when I came back to Germany that it wasn't. But that time in Sri Lanka was a beautiful time. Like we did a lot with the family. Like we spent a lot of time at sea, went fishing and snorkeling and all these things. And we were also like a nice community. Like there were 7 other German kids, and we had one German teacher. He taught us in one classroom, 4 grades, and all at the same time. So that was special. And but that is also what caused later, when I relocated to Germany, the difficulties when I suddenly faced these huge classes, more than 30 kids in a classroom, several teachers, and so that there was just a huge difference.
Indeed. I was gonna ask you, because you said that it was a difference when you moved back to Germany, and I think this is quite a representation of people who identify as TCKs, right? The culture kids, that they face some kind of adjustment challenges when they come back. Would you say that that was your experience as well?
Totally, yeah, totally. Because the way of living was completely different in Sri Lanka. And then when we were in Germany, suddenly, I must say there were 2 parts, like the cultural differences and all I could rely on suddenly disappeared. Like you don't even know the trees. You don't know the animals, like all these. So you always feel a little bit slow and behind others. So that is one part. But then additionally, what was difficult is that my parents separated. So that was additionally somehow the
stresses.
All these things you could rely was suddenly like the family, the strength of the family, the safe place at home. And additionally, there was no home anymore. Like I couldn't, at the beginning at least, I couldn't identify Germany as my home, as my country. My country was Sri Lanka. So that was difficult, and that's why I say, like at the beginning, I was just in survival mode. Just try to somehow fit in and to be normal, like to be equal with other kids, with other people. And so that was challenging. And and only later, like already in university, I started to reflect that time.
Right.
And then only then all this hidden grief and unresolved grief came up, and I started to just face what happened, and
Right.
figured out what is important for me, what is my identity, who I want to be, and all these questions that came
Right.
came up. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was quite late. Like
Yeah,
first, I really went through school, and from outside, I appeared
to be doing well.
very strong, very
Right.
strong. Like I just did everything.
Right.
So yeah.
Is when you shared about how your family life being the foundation, and then you move back to what is supposed to be your home country, and then everything fell apart. It gave me in Netherlands we say kippenvel, a chicken skin, because it makes me feel it makes me feel sad, because it's heartbreaking to hear that, because I'm also a child of not separation, but a child of divorce as well, at also a young age, at 6 or 7, and that's difficult to have to go through. And for your end, it's not only going through the disintegration of family, but also the moving of countries. I recognize the survival mode, where on the surface, everything's going great, going to school, making friends, but on the inside, it's long hidden away. And
and I think at that time I needed to do so to protect myself.
Yes.
But in the long run, I think that there always comes a point where you have to face all this.
Yes, the past.
You can't hide away. Like, at least I don't think it's healthy to do so. Like, you need to find some peace.
Of course, yeah. Would you say at that point of time when you were transferring back that there was not as much support for TCKs then?
No, there was no. I think that my teachers in Germany, they didn't even know my background.
I see.
They expected me to be they didn't know better. Like, they expected me to be this normal child, and I guess they thought, oh my gosh, this girl doesn't know anything.
Oh gosh.
Being in front on the school board, for example, that was for me like scary. Like, but they expected, like, they didn't know that I never had this experience, or that I don't know many like vocabulary related to school.
I see.
So that and there was I must say, we get no, like, my sister and my brother, there was no support. Like, my parents were busy with themselves. And TCK, like, I heard of this term 1 year ago.
Right.
And that's there wasn't, and that was like, when I heard that, even though I went through all this and processed everything, like, somehow that felt like a relief. Like, there's a term. I have a word for it. It's good.
Suddenly the light bulb went, I belong somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but at that time the awareness wasn't there. Like, I don't think my parents, because they knew that area, they came from that area.
Indeed.
And I think they couldn't imagine what it means for us, that we are new in this kind of living and area. I mean, we have been in vacation in Germany several times, but that's different than living in a country.
Of course.
Yeah.
Were you able to lean in on your siblings in this process?
Yeah, they were the most important people for me. Like, my sibling, like my brother, my sister, we even more when the family broke apart, like, we stick together. And when my parents separated, it was, for us, the most important thing was that we are together, like, at one place.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that despite having such a lonely process, you still had your siblings who actually were going through the
Same.
experience with you.
Yeah.
Because it is it can be really daunting to move countries, and especially as a child. And I hear it that you have actually moved for studies or work before. Do you think your life as a TCK before that helped you when you had to move to, I believe it was China and India as well?
China,
right?
India, Canada, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I must say I felt more at home abroad than in Germany.
Yes.
It was I think that was like the reason why I always was drawn to other countries and being abroad, because I suddenly could relax, and I didn't have any expectations. Then I'm free.
Right.
So there always was a shift somehow. I could show up in a different way suddenly.
Yeah, people don't question you.
Yeah.
Right, because you mentioned that when, as a child, when you moved back to Germany, the teachers were wondering, oh, why does she speak different? And so there were that expectations.
Not only the teachers, I must say, people were always nice and kind to me. Like I never got bullied, and they were interested, and so I can't complain.
Them.
Like people were always nice and kind, but I didn't speak the Bavarian dialect, so they immediately identified me as a stranger. And even though I tried so hard to be equal, but they even later, like of course I learned the dialect, but I never spoke it because it never felt natural. Like I felt like imitating, and that I didn't want. So, but I understand everything, and I can imitate it, and I really love the dialect. It's beautiful, but they identified immediately that I'm not from this location.
But they were not aware of how their behaviors have an impact on you as a child, right? They didn't know any better at that point of time.
No, they didn't know. Like and I hide. Like I never talked about my background. I just, because I wanted to be equal.
Right. You want to be part of the pack.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's why it's very important that there are support system for people who are globally mobile, be that they are children or family, or like adults like us who have to move, because usually they look all right. We look all right.
Just people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. How was what are some of your favorite memories of let's say Sri Lanka, when you say, because I remember you had good memories of Sri Lanka.
I love the sea. Like I love to swim. I'm a good swimmer. So and that was beautiful. And we went fishing, and a lot of activities during at the weekends. So that I remember as it is a really important time and experience the sea and swimming or snorkeling. Then this being together with my family, these activities we did. My parents were very interested in the country and explored the country. We've been to areas where they never have seen someone white.
So, interesting. That must be interesting.
I mean, that wasn't that time, some time ago. But so they were interested and open, and my father, he is like, I like the way he is with people. He's very open, and it's just I remember this also this community with the other German kids and the local kids. So that was a nice, safe place in my life, so that I remember. And people in Sri Lanka, they are so kind.
Yeah.
I think they are so kind. They're so open and interested and just nice people. So I appreciate that very much.
Do you still have ties back in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, we still have. And my father, he built a house there, so some years ago, and he's every year in winter, during winter, he is in Sri Lanka. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice to hear. Yeah,
No, there we have still contact to some families and
of course.
also to our servants. Like that was how it was like in that time. So we had someone who cleaned the house and someone who cooked. And we still are in contact, and they call me and I call them. So that's a very loyal tie here.
Oh, that's nice that you're still in contact with the helpers, the people who were still with you. And that was, wow, that must, the ties are long and deep. That's nice to hear.
Yeah. I mean, that's 40 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. When was the last time you were in Sri Lanka?
I think it was 2015.
Okay.
We went with the kids, like all as a family, and
does your kids understand what you went through with the moving of countries, you think?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they know. I mean, they are themselves carry these two identities. Like my husband is Russian and I'm German, so I don't know if they thought too much about like, because they have been always at one place, so they have never experienced this shift and losing control, losing safety, and so. But they know what it means to have more cultures. With them. So
now that you actually run two businesses as an architect as well as a mentor, right, for internationals, I can see the pattern where you're the connecting the dots of how your life as a TCK, influence you being an architect as well as a mentor. And where do you think this all began?
What do you mean, like the mentor?
For the first you became an architect, and then as well as a mentor. Were you inspired by your life abroad? When you went through these ventures?
I always wanted to understand how people live together and how they find solutions living together, and so I always was interested in these topics, how we get along with each other. And so I did this mediation program because I realized there are so many conflicts on the construction site. So that was the time I started to go deeper. I mean, before that, like as a teenager, I already read all these books because I was interested, and because I needed answers for myself. So I think these questions I had towards my own identity and the challenges I faced in my life always kept me like finding solutions for and finding answers. And so that is, I think, it was a need for me, and I think it's I don't believe there's a right and wrong and a black and a white. I think it's always about finding solutions in a certain circumstance. And so that is something that drives me in both businesses, like in architecture. I'm not the one for the standard house. Like, I'm looking for solutions for my clients. And in the coaching business, it's the same. Like I try to give enough space for what is and find solutions to move on. So so that is, I think that is something coming from my own history. From
I was listening to you as you tell your story, and the word safety keeps coming up, right? And I was like, oh, it sounds like, oh, when you become an architect, like you help clients build houses. You know, at the end, they will be in a safe environment, and then now you help mentor these people moving to a new environment, and to help them feel safe. Would you say that's something that is a common thread?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the way you see it and you express it. It's a nice way to put it. I think like life is more mobile than it was before, and I realized people who never left their country, never left their village. I always admired their strength and how, like, it has a good side and a bad side.
Right.
I admired if they could, they were so sure about themselves and how life works.
Yes.
And that's it's also a nice thing to know who you are and where you come from, and have this aura, like, and just be yourself and trust yourself. And I also saw that they even if the situation changes, they are still confident.
Right, they have a foundation
I think
that they can lean on.
Yeah, they have a lot of power. So and so I have the feeling what we all need is like a space or a place where we can evolve and also fail and try out, but still feel safe in failing. Yes. And that is something I think everyone needs in life.
And this is where it's a beautiful way to talk about your project, right? Which is the Apple Talk, right? Where you want to create a safe space. Please tell us more about what is Apple Talk.
Apple Talk is like I got a farm from my aunt. Like, it's a family estate, and there are many, like a lot of apple trees, and I had to pick these apple trees all by my own. Right. And I got frustrated, and then I thought, why don't I invite some people? And so I started this project and this event. I invited people to pick apples with me, and after that, like, we have tea, coffee, and just a small coaching round. I always have a special topic. I prepare something, and it's a nice way to connect. And I always, like, I had always people, they didn't know each other, and there were more countries involved. So and I realized that was for them, it created like a safe space where they, by picking apples, naturally you get in contact, like, and after that they could open up in a different way because they felt safe, and they felt this community is they were nice people, and so we had this very interesting discussions about this topic, and it opened up a lot. And yeah, I thought that there I recognized that in a group of different people, you can learn from others, and you can inspire others, and you can share ideas and connect. And that is a kind of easy, you have to prepare it, but it's easy help for someone who feels lonely or who has something to talk about. And that is my idea and my vision about for this farm, to create this safe space or a space to experiment and connect, inspire, share, and also a place to experiment. I my family, I have a huge family, and I always experience this family as a place to learn, to just before you go out in the world.
Right.
And I think this idea of huge families nowadays is more difficult because we are so mobile.
Yes.
But there, so as something like that works like this family, like a huge family, I think it's necessary to have these places and this create space for people where they can explore themselves and learn from others and share each other.
And who are the ideal group of people that comes to Apple Talk for you? Are they internationals or Germans?
Internationals and locals. I like to combine them, bring them to mix them up, because then, I mean, it depends on what is needed, but I think I like this. I like this diversity. I like if different ideas come together and creates a lot of new space and new ideas. And so and I was even like that different ages,
right?
Like, older people, young people, like that they can like share where they are and what they maybe need, and like connect these people. That would be beautiful.
So everybody will go on at first going on an apple picking, correct? And then they will sit around and chat. Is that how it goes, the program?
That is what Apple Talk is about. Yeah.
Yes.
I could imagine even more programs and more events in but that is what I'm doing right now, because apples are growing and
yes
somebody pick them.
And what kind of like topics that came up during the Apple Talk, right?
I remember one situation where like I invited a friend of mine. She is an immigrant, like from China,
right?
And she said, I never had that. Like I never had that I could open up that much, and I never talked about where I am, because other, like there were locals and they were talking about their families and what is they struggle with right now, and they were very open. And she said, I never did that.
Yes.
And we, like in China, we never talk about this stuff.
Right.
And for her, but by listening and by seeing other families that they struggle within, like for her it was even German people struggle.
Yeah.
So, and for her that was kind of relief. It's just normal. Like that is life. Like it's not, nothing is perfect. Even in Germany, it's not perfect. So for her that was something opened up, and she, at least I think that it helped her in her situation at that moment.
That sounds wonderful. I am very curious of your Apple Talk. And I mean, I'm in the Netherlands. If ever I'm in your area and there's an Apple Talk, you'll be sure to know that I'll be there. Even though I speak no German, but I will learn a little bit. I'll bring my Google Translate. I'll be really, really excited about picking apples for sure.
Yeah, and I always prepare apple strudel. So
from the very apples in your farm. That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. I really love your vision for Apple Talk. and I really hope it's a place, a safe refuge, a safe place for everybody, anybody at all, to come in and make new connections. I think that's a really wonderful idea, Maritta. Yeah, I'm excited for you. Yeah. So, with all this being said, like, for somebody, because you're a mentor, right, for internationals moving, maybe they're moving to Germany, or they're thinking of moving to Germany, they're still not sure, they're still at home. What are some of your best advice for them?
I think like it's always good to listen to yourself and to listen to others, and to be open what comes up and process. Like, do not ignore what comes up. Like, sometimes it's heavy and sometimes it's difficult, but it's important to face where you are and what you experience, and then from that point, that is life. That is what we all have to face,
right?
And from that point, by accepting it, you can move forward and find solutions, what we right now need. But I think the be aware of yourself and just watch people, what they do, how they do it, but never forget yourself by doing so. Like, always remember your background, your identity, and allow yourself to be who you are, and inspire others by who you are, but not on the cost on others.
Right.
But never forget who you are.
Yeah. You can only survival mode can only get you so far. You need time to bloom as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's really, really good advice. I really like your story, Maritta, and I'm sad to say that it has come to the end, because I really like the journey that you have taken through, and how, like, your life abroad as a TCK, and now you are bringing safety to different kinds of people, in Appletop and all that. Now, with that said, I would like to close off this session. But before we do that, do you have anything to say to your family and friends all around the world, or maybe in Sri Lanka? You never know. Maybe they're watching this.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for all the people who were in my life, and who were in my life, and I absolutely appreciate everyone who just was with me and went through this time, and who, like my family, even though it wasn't always easy, but it's nice that we now have this huge family, and all are happy that we we have each other. And and I want to thank like the people who showed me different ways of life and different ways of dealing with challenges, and encourage me to move on. So just appreciate everyone.
Yeah,
and thank you to you.
No worries about it. I like your love letter to the people who supported you through your life. It's really nice, and I hope they watch this and know that you may be far from them, but you think of them a lot.
Yeah. I am grateful to have this variety and this wide world. That gives me freedom, like to know there are so many people out there, and that's nice.
Can you, before we round it off, can you say something in German? Maybe to the new internationals coming into Germany, and maybe they want to go to Appletop.
Ja, ich kann auch auf Deutsch.
Yes.
Oder ich kann sogar viel besser auf Deutsch. Ich freue mich sehr, wenn jemand Interesse hat, mich zu kontaktieren oder mich zu besuchen oder zum Apple Talk zu kommen. Wäre schön, da einen Kontakt aufzubauen und ja, wenn ich euch kennenlerne.
Hey, and what is that in English?
That I'm happy for everyone who's showing up to Apple Talk or who wants to connect. I'm always open and interested in other people.
Yes, thank you so much, Maritta, and to the rest of you who join us today. I hope that you learned something new about TCKs, and as well as if you are looking for a mentor and you're international yourself and you happen to be in Germany, look out for Maritta. Her details are right below. And with that, thank you so much, Maritta. I had a great time, and to the rest of you, goodbye, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you,
Bye.
Teratai. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Ciao. Servus.
Yeah.
Paka.